Hi.
Hi.
Oh, guys, this is like one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life.
I try.
I have a passion for storytelling, but today I want to tell somebody else's story. This is the first episode of a series that I'm going to have on my channel called Interviewing Excellence. She is excellent. She really is. How did we meet?
Well, I found her on a Facebook group.
We were about to enter college.
Yeah.
And we found each other.
Mm-hmm. And I think one day I was like, "You want to be roommates?" And we were just like, "Yeah." And that was pretty much it.
We saw the best and the worst of each other that year. And for some reason, we still stayed friends. Here we are now,
my God.
several years later. We're starting our lives, and we're still with each other. When we last saw each other, we were 19 years old, right? And now
19.
we're 22. And
Yeah.
what better place to reconvene than Central Park? First of all, why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, I'm Keke. I work in the medical field. I got my BBA in HCA August of 2021. So far I've been hopping from hospital to hospital to kind of figure out what I want to do. And right now I think I found a really good place to work. It's one of the top hospitals.
Keke is really intelligent, but she also has a lot of experience with the world.
Yeah.
That has led her to be the person that she is today. So I'm gonna ask her some questions about how she got here.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, what kind of person are you?
Shy. I think I'm really shy and introverted. A lot of people notice that about me, that when I get used to you, I do open up. I'm very selfless. I'll do like literally anything for anyone I care about. I'm really I guess I'm passionate about what I do work-wise because it always ties back to what I've been through in my life.
How did you become that kind of person?
To be honest, a lot of people say this as a joke, but I genuinely think it was trauma. I feel like when you go through a lot at a young age, it forces you to grow up and kind of prioritize and kind of have a better vision of what you want to do and who you want to be. And I think since I was really young, that's something I had to always focus on, because sometimes when you're in the present moment, it's not the greatest thing in the world. But I think I'm happy where I am now, because it's a lot, the younger me would be thrilled. I feel like everything that shaped me to be the way that I am is because I come from a family where people are mentally ill. They all have different mental issues, and they're all just different in their own way.
What's it like living in a family of people with mental illness?
Challenging. I think it's not easy. And I think when people think of mentally ill family members, they assume you have to have something going on as well. That you're not destined to be anything great because you come from a family where people are just a little chaotic. Yeah.
And one of the interesting things I found about you is you tell me all these crazy stories of the people in your family, and then my question for you is always how are you holding up? And your response is often, well, it hurts, but I'm not losing my mind, which is interesting.
A lot of times when everybody else is losing their mind, somebody has to kind of just suck it up and hold it together. No matter how hard a situation is, I think I've always been kind of that foundation for my family, kind of keeping it together a lot of the times, because there's always fighting or arguing, or a lot of people just don't see eye to eye in my household. So I think I just got that role without even asking, and it was kind of forced upon me to just be the strong one, or the one who just fixes or mediates everything, even if I don't want to or care.
Do you take pride in that role?
I think I do now, just because when I was younger, it was just you want to have your own problems. You want to worry about yourself and be selfish, because as a teenager, the world is ending. You have everything in the world going on. And I feel like as I got older, I realized that it's kind of crucial and really important, because I'm able to not only resolve problems, but kind of reverse damage and kind of, I don't want to say manipulate the situation, but kind of just make it better overall. In my family, mediating is on a weekly basis. It's not something I frown upon now. It is sometimes. It feels stressful because everybody's an adult now. The people who are older than me should have it together to be a role model, but they don't. and it's just something that I can't expect of them. It's just how it is, and I've just come to that conclusion and gave myself closure from it. So yeah.
How did you give yourself closure?
I want to say when my brother passed away, that was probably the biggest closure moment I've ever had, and the best closure I've ever had, which I tell people that all the time. Because I was mediating all the time, he was always someone that needed that mediating.
Because usually when someone passes away, people say that, like, oh, that was my trauma, that was the painful incident, but for you that was the ending of a period of pain. I was not expecting you to say that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's don't get me wrong, I loved my brother beyond words. I only had one brother, and that's pretty much where I stand on it, but he is at peace, and I think that's what gave me closure. Him being at peace made me feel happier. It relieves stress for me, and I wish it wasn't that way, but I think it's at a certain age I realized this is what it was going to come to.
Do you want to talk about why your brother passed away?
Yeah, I'm not really shy about it. I used to get offended, believe it or not. So my brother was an alcoholic starting around 17 or 18, and he has gotten clean a few times, but you know, when you don't focus on your mental health and take care of yourself, I feel like you're always going to go back. And that was something sadly my brother had to face, that I think alcohol was the one thing that he felt resolved the pain, or like kind of like even eased it a little bit. And he was pretty young, his mid-20s, and yeah, he passed away on Valentine's Day of last year. My brother was only 6 years older than me, honestly, so it was like we were really close. I think when you grow up seeing these things, you kind of know and prepare yourself for it. Yeah.
Do you think that his death could have been prevented?
Oh, for sure. One thing I do tell people all the time, though, is you can't blame yourself. You can't help somebody if they don't want to be helped. And I think with him, it was always, we were his biggest supporters. Whenever my brother got clean, I would celebrate literally every week with him that he got clean. We would just go out and buy like smoothies or buy sushi. Like, it was so crazy. It was like we were celebrating a birthday. Instead of people counting months of being sober, I counted the weeks, because I wanted him to feel like he was really doing something. You can celebrate those moments even in between that they're trying, and then you see the genuine soul in between all of that. I understood both sides to him, but my favorite was him sober, because he was just happy. He had a rough childhood. I can't say detail for detail because I never had him explain it to me, because I would never push someone to talk about something they really don't want to. He is a very soft person. For a guy, you're not really supposed to be soft. You know, that's how it's perceived. But he was very easily influenced. He was pushed over easily. Someone could make fun of him, he'll just like awkwardly laugh it off. And I think when he started to drink, he got kind of an abrasive side to him. He stood up for himself a lot more. But then you think that's the solution, and I think that's what it was. Being so young and being underage and having access to something that was perceived as cool, and then you take it too far. And then you realize every day you're doing this. And then you realize you can't stop. Growing up in a Caribbean household, drinking is like the thing. They just bond by drinking. He always felt like he had something to prove.
Even when he was sober?
Even when he was sober. There's one thing that my brother always said, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, one day I'm going to be somebody. Like, just watch. One day I'm going to be somebody, and everyone's going to stop looking at me like I'm crazy. I can hear him say it in my head over and over again. It's just like, that's the sad part, I guess, is that one day I'm going to be somebody, but then, you know, the effort really wasn't put into wanting to be someone. Yeah.
What kind of person could he have been if he decided to actually try to be somebody for the right reasons?
Oh God. My brother is intelligent. Before he passed away, he was actually in college for one semester for accounting, because he was always good with numbers. And I remember he was like in 10th grade and in a senior level math class. Like, it was pretty crazy how his brain worked. He had many skills. I remember at one point he was a mechanic, which is weird. Like, he never showed interest in cars. Like, he was like, oh, I'll just learn it. Like, it's not hard. And he learned it. Then he was a warehouse worker. Then he worked at Best Buy for the Geek Squad. Like, he has done so many different jobs. I firmly believed had he focused and got it together, he would have graduated college way earlier. Who knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless because he's done so many things, so many different jobs that, like, I could see him doing anything. That's really it. But I always saw him being, like, in a business, running a business. Like, that was always his talk. I remember, even if he was sober or drunk, like, he just talked about, oh, we should just open up a business, like a family business. And since I was in healthcare, he's like, we could open up a clinic. It was kind of like a dream we wish happened.
What kind of person could you have been if you stayed alive?
I don't know. You know, when you think about it a lot, it's like, if I could turn back time and know what I've known today, it would have been different. But I see it as when he was alive, I was very, almost like him. I felt like I was being a pushover. I couldn't stand up for myself. I wasn't confident or independent at all. It does suck. It took him to pass away for me to just say, wow, I really need to, like, love myself more and take care of my mental health. But I can genuinely say that if he was alive, I wouldn't have been the way I am now. And that's because I genuinely think you mature and grow from trauma faster than anything else. And him passing away led me to push to be in the job that I am today, in the mental state, and really how much I appreciate breathing every day and just living. Like, it just changes you, and I feel like maybe I took a lot of stuff for granted before, which I know a lot of people in my family are addicted to something in some sort of form, or they're making really bad life decisions, or are surrounded by people who are bad for them. I kind of just accepted it, because I think one thing you can do is always try to encourage someone to change. When it comes to my family members, we've all went through the same pain of losing my brother, my mom worse than anyone else. So thought of even losing someone else just makes you want to rip your hair out. But I think at the same time, when you know it's a form of addiction or not taking care of your mental health that's going to lead to this, you kind of just embrace yourself. It does make me really sad if I sit down and think about it too much. But instead of that, I just try to speak positivity into their lives. Even if it annoys them, I always try to do that for people.
Whenever I come to you and I'm having a crisis or a breakdown, you somehow ease me towards finding a positive in it.
Yeah.
Even if it annoys me, you're right. Yeah. Sometimes it really does bother me because you make me feel better.
I can't help
You give me
it.
hope.
Through past experiences of being the mediator, you kind of always know how to help someone calm down, help them to focus on the better, because even though right in the moment you don't want to focus on the better, you just want to be angry and emotional, sometimes it's good to just ground yourself just a little bit. Just stay calm and understand that everything's going to pass and everything's going to be okay. And like we are now, sitting in Central Park 4 years ago, we were complaining
about...
We don't even care. We don't even remember. It doesn't even matter.
Life is so different, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
And the one thing that has remained is the fact that we love each other, and I think we love each other. We're mature enough to be better at loving each other now.
Yes.
And I treasure our friendship because I feel like probably out of every person on this earth, you understand me the best. And it's not because it's easy to understand me, it's because you tried. And I'm grateful for that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think our friendship has grown and, like, blossomed because we've matured and gone through things together. Both of us, especially you, just being so big on improving your mental health and focusing on yourself, I think that was something I was able to kind of reflect off of and kind of take into my own personal life, which is really great. It made us, like, our relationship is like a marriage.
Yeah.
We tell people all the time, it's like we're married, because, like, we're constantly working on things with each other and helping each other, and that's something I can appreciate. Not a lot of growth in a lot of other relationships.
Yeah, and we have not seen each other since we were teenagers in person. We don't live close to each other anymore.
Yeah.
And we still have made time to grow and bond with each other.
Like,
Oh my gosh, stop! Oh man, I love you so much. I think we're good. I think that we're golden. I think we did well.
Yeah.
And I just love you so much.
That was great. This is fun.
Okay. So, do you think we're gonna live together again?
No.
But please.
Okay.
What would it be like if we lived together again?
It'd be like free therapy.